Hey guys, Merry Christmas and welcome back. Steve here with 6 Star Automotive. Today we're going to go over something that's rather important in your car. Before we get started, please like, subscribe, hit the bell, and join me as we talk about batteries. So there's a lot that goes on in these little black boxes that are in our cars that make them work. It's very common that I'll have people come in and just say that they need a battery, but there are also other things that can happen that can cause a battery to fail. One of the most important things to remember is that diagnosis and starting and charging system testing is going to be the most accurate way to determine the real problem and the root cause of why your battery failed in the first place. But how does this battery work? So batteries don't actually store electricity, they store chemical energy. Inside the battery, as you can see here, we've got a plastic case that houses 6 sets of individual lead plates. Each set is made up of alternating plates, positive and negative. One of them is going to be a solid lead plate, and the other one is going to be a grid plate that is coated in a lead oxide paste. And then that is enveloped in a sheath that allows for the electrolyte to pass through but keeps the plates from shorting together. Each set of plates or cells joins together to make about 2.1 volts. That times 6 in series is going to create that 12.6 volts that your battery can offer. So if you ever heard of a dead cell or a shorted cell in a battery, that's what happens, is that these plates can actually short internally and cause one cell to stop working. So the sulfuric acid in the solution reacts with the lead plates to create lead sulfide. That sulfide then coats the plates, and what can happen over time is what's called sulfation, is the lead sulfide will actually create a protective coating over the lead and stop any other chemical reaction from happening. What's really cool about this technology is you can actually force electricity or electrons through them the opposite direction, and that will cause the chemical reaction to reverse, removing the sulfur from the lead and then allow that to go back into the solution. Over time though, some of that lead sulfide will break off of the plates and then settle down at the bottom of the battery. The battery is actually designed with a gap to collect that lead sulfide over time. So just like your cell phone battery, your car battery can only handle so many cycles before it's depleted and it needs to be replaced. So what exactly is the purpose of the battery? What is it designed to do? So the battery's purpose is to offer high amperage loads over a short period of time. So it's designed to start the car. After that, the alternator is supposed to take over. The alternator then runs all the accessories in your vehicle and at the same time replenish the charge in the battery that was discharged when it started the vehicle. One thing that can happen though, if your battery is discharged or is faulty, it can draw from that alternator more than it's supposed to and cause the alternator to fail prematurely. So what can I do to make my battery last longer? So a lot of that is dependent on the battery itself from the very beginning. So the thickness of the lead plates determines how much amperage it can offer and also how much sulfation it can handle over time. So as the lead breaks down, turns into lead sulfide, falls out of the bottom of the battery, the more that's there, the longer it's going to last. So the more expensive a battery that you buy tends to mean that the battery will last longer. One of the best ways to get the maximum lifespan out of your battery is to ensure that it doesn't get depleted. Leaving lights on in your vehicle with the vehicle off or running your radio with the vehicle not running will eventually cause a lower lifespan than it could have had. Another thing that can reduce the life of batteries is what's called a parasitic draw. So in my experience, most of the time a parasitic draw is going to be created by an aftermarket electrical component that has failed and causes a drain on the battery all the time. Usually aftermarket radios cause this, aftermarket alarms cause this type of situation. There have been factory modules that I've seen fail that will cause battery drains, but I would say 90% of the time parasitic drains are caused by aftermarket electrical components. The problem with parasitic drains is that the battery is constantly being discharged and doesn't have the opportunity to be recharged before it depletes it. The full depletion of the battery causes the maximum amount of sulfation on those plates, which is more difficult to recharge the battery and basically makes it to where it can't get back up to the level that it was before. Batteries can definitely bounce back after being discharged, but it will reduce their lifespan. So why does your battery get the green fuzzies and corrosion on the top? So as batteries discharge, the chemical reaction releases hydrogen gas. That hydrogen gas is reactive with the dissimilar metals that are on top of the battery, like the lead and the steel, and that will cause them to oxidize and corrode. That's where you get that green kind of fuzz that builds up on the battery. Also, the sulfuric acid inside the battery can actually evaporate partially, and then it will come out of the vents and it will collect on the battery terminals. So that'll also cause that corrosion. The best thing to do if you find the green corrosion on your battery is not to pour soda on it or buy any kind of special chemicals or anything like that. The best thing that I found is really just to pour really hot water over it rather slowly. The corrosion will basically dissolve and the battery will be clean with no residue. I could really nerd out on this one. I mean, the charging system, how the alternators work, all that kind of stuff is just, it fascinates me. And I don't want to get to the point where I bore you guys, so I'm not going to go into that. But if you want me to do a video on how alternators work and how rectifier diodes work and all that kind of stuff, I can totally do that. But you're going to have to leave me a comment. All right, guys, that's it for today. I know it's a short one, but I'm going to get back to my family. Thanks for watching the video. Have a very Merry Christmas, and come on by to experience the 6-star difference for yourself.